Hello and welcome to The Silver Lining, the weekly geekly talk show where we discuss any number of topics that may have come up during the week. I'm your host, Uncle Silver, aka Silver Greg, aka Greg, whatever you are comfortable calling me. And welcome to you, my co-host, the chat. Always a fantastic time having everybody here. I suspect there are several people, one in particular who is currently streaming at the time that we're recording right now. So we're not recording, I guess we're live streaming. So I don't know what attendance is going to look like, but that's okay because we're going to have fun no matter what. I would do this if there were two people here. We would just have a much more smaller, intimate conversation, and that's okay. But today is our 88th episode, which unfortunately I did not prepare any fun Back to the Future clips. I have a Back to the Future audio clip. There you go. That's all we got. Hopefully everybody watching is having had a good week and is about to have a good weekend. It's been kind of a weird week for me. It is sort of it's like a rebuilding week. You know what I mean? Like not a lot happened, so it was a lot of just sort of setting myself like mentally, like just sort of settling myself mentally. John Pancho Nitro, what is going on? Yeah. So it's been sort of a like I said, really calm week. Just a lot of introspection. You know what I mean? Like thinking about stuff. You know, it hasn't been very busy, so there's time for that. Picked up a few things at the Goodwill store. I like a goofball. I don't have them ready. They had Chessmaster 3D for the PlayStation, which is on the long box, which is like up there, and I just haven't grabbed it. And they also had Tales of the Abyss, new sealed for the 3DS. I feel dumb because I wish I had them here. I don't know. It's been a good week, but to be honest, like I said, it has been like a very sort of mellow week, but it's also been a little distractive for me. Distracting. I don't know. Just sort of the lack of I've had a weird lack of focus this week, which is normally good for me because sometimes I'm too hyper focused. But it's like a weird lack of focus. So it's very strange. But hey, Mendez and Ryan. So apparently Ted really liked the Streets of Rage 4 demo. I hope it's good. I'm worried. I saw some things in the art style that sort of worried me. I was worried that it was gonna look just like very basic modern day beat 'em up, you know what I mean? So hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's something a lot more interesting. I got Zero Collection this week. I would love to get the Zero Collection. I would love to give that a try because it's like 6 complete games. At this point, it's just, you know, Animal Crossing is the next purchase. Actually, I will probably, before I get Animal Crossing, I will probably break down and buy the Elgato multi-mount. I'm gonna get one for the camera because the camera is like this embarrassing setup of how it's all rigged up. Hey, Linky, Linky, I will at just before 5 o'clock. I'll jump into on my Discord server, Silver's Guests. So if you can pop in there when we get in there, and then that's where we'll have our discussion about how to fix your company. Here, Hire, what's going on? So yeah, hopefully everybody has had a good week. I feel like it's been like a slow week. I don't know. There's one topic that we're going to talk about, which is I have Linky who's going to be on as a guest talking about this topic. Ryan, what's happening? What's up? Yeah, I don't like. I feel like there were topics, and I feel like I just missed them. You know what I mean? Rocky week for me again. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Hero Hyrule. Anything we can anything our video game knowledge here can fix. Excuse me. Yeah. So it's I don't know. Like the only topic I have lined up for today is the GameStop topic that we're going to talk about. I don't know. Like, I feel like stuff happened and I just didn't notice it. Like, even the channels that I watch, I know that there was the thing about another company is pulling out of GDC, which is the Game Developers Conference in San Francisco. I don't like. I know of it, but I don't know what to talk about with that. Like, it's an interesting situation. The whole coronavirus thing is sort of irritating to me, which we can talk about later. Yeah, a few more backed out. Okay, I thought it was just one more. I know that there's a few of them that did not. So we'll probably end up getting into that discussion, just because I'm interested to see who it was that backed out. And GDC is interestingly not something that I'm super familiar with, but it seems to be getting a lot more like I don't ever remember really hearing about people talk about GDC, but now that people are canceling, all of a sudden everybody's talking about it, or at least they're talking about the cancellations. So I always find that sort of fascinating. So I'm interested to figure out how relevant it is. Gatormeister, what's happening? Unfortunately not, but thank you for asking. Yeah, I don't know. It's like I know that happened. Oh, I know what else I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about. Let me queue up the tab so I remember. The Xbox, Xbox sex specs, Xbox sex specs. They released the specs, which we will. I want to discuss. I also saw that they released the PS5 specs. Which I didn't see either one of them. I have a tab here open. So I want to look at what some of these specs are. Where's this? Here you go. Yeah, okay. It's kind of an annoying topic for me. Okay, fine. GDC is less about announcements, more about insights from big name developers, often with tidbits about upcoming stuff. And Ryan, you know what? That's been everything lately. Everything lately is this event is kind of okay, but sometimes they release some gaming news, so you gotta watch it. Like the Game Awards, E3, obviously, but every time there's one of these events, that's always the big thing. Like CES, you know, CES is consumer electronics. It used to be about video games to an not about video games, but they used to have a lot of video games there until E3 kind of dominated that scene. But everyone's like, CES is coming up. Maybe we'll hear about some video game stuff. Like they always kind of tease that, and I think that it's because they know that it's an easy maneuver. I think it's good that companies are at least taking the coronavirus spread seriously. Like it's just gaming news and conference. It's not worth people's health. Yeah, like I said, Mendez. We'll talk about it because I have sort of a problem with it, which I don't mind that everybody's taking it seriously, but I don't know. We'll get into it other than that. But yeah. So we got a few things that we want to talk about today. I know I only listed the one, but we'll the topic that we have coming up first. We're gonna have to cut not short. I think we'll get the full topic in. But Linky has to leave early, so I know that we won't. This is probably, we're normally 5 to 7 here, so it's normally 2 hours. I don't think we're gonna go all the way to 7 o'clock just because we started 15 minutes early, and I don't know what the other topics are gonna be. All right, let's get into where are my buttons. All right. For our first topic, this is a topic that I want to bring on a special guest for, because this special guest is very relevant to the topic. Hopefully my Discord's working okay. Can I do that? No. Okay. So I'm in Discord now. So Linky, whenever you get in there, that'd be fantastic. I think you can go on your own. I don't know if I have to bring you in there myself. No, don't do that. What? Okay. Can't fix GameStop. Retail is dying, especially as for specialty one topic stores like this. I just picked up Axiom version from GameStop. What a coincidence. What Ryan said. That's what we're gonna get into. Okay. So for this first topic, GameStop, I'm going to bring this article up. I'm not going to read the whole article because the whole article is super long. Polygon listed an article on February 19th, so it's a little weird that this is all coming up now. I apologize if I'm talking about this very late in relation to everybody else. Talking about how morale is very low at GameStop amongst the employees and managers and such. Basically, the company is going back to taking its drastic measures, forcing the employees to be more strict about how many people they talk to, as far as getting their contact information, finding out what kind of phone they have so they can try and get them to trade in their phones, because apparently that's a profitable thing for them. According to the article, they often resell phones overseas, so that's a profitable industry for them, I suppose. It's probably more profitable than selling video game consoles, since you don't make really a lot of money off of those. But they are talking about possibly closing another 1,000 stores, or at least that's what somebody says here. They think they're good. I think they mentioned that they're going to close a few hundred stores, but the speculation is by this one employee, and they don't have their names. They don't put their names there. That the speculation is that it's going to be at least 1,000 stores. I can tell you myself, it's when I go to GameStop, it's not busy. There are about 2 GameStops near me, and one more that I go to every once in a while in Center City, Philadelphia, which the one in Center City, Philadelphia is a small store. It's in a very busy place. So that one makes more sense that it's a little bit busier, and even that's normally dead. But it's when I go in, here's the thing that I want to make clear before we talk about anything else. It's not the individuals. When I go into these stores, the individuals are fantastic. The problem with articles like this is that it makes it sound like they're miserable when you go into the store. Like, morale is low. So when you go into the store, the employee, the employee sitting behind the counter like, "Can I help you?" And none of the stores that I go to have employees like that. Everybody I go there, when I go and I talk to them, they're normally, they're very helpful. And then if I start talking to them about video game stuff, outside of the GameStop company, I just start talking about video games, and I start talking about what's coming out, what I played, what's interesting. They usually perk right up. They're usually pretty happy with that. So, I mean, like any retail job, I imagine that they're just friggin' bored. Hang on. Muted? No, you're not muted. Are you there, Linky? Are you there? Do I have you muted? Why do I have you muted? No. Are you there? What the hell? Sorry, I'm going into my Discord here. All right, that's super weird. I'm muted. Yeah, it is muted. Oh, you have yourself muted. Okay. You're welcome to unmute. I dragged you into the room, so you're welcome to unmute if you want. Or you don't have your. I can't unmute. Hold on. Why is it? Huh. I don't know why. No, don't. What? You're in the room. I don't know why it's not letting you. It's not. There's not even an option for me to unmute you. Huh. I don't know what's going on. Maybe try reconnecting. Hang on. Can you hear me now? It's still doing the what in the world is going on? Okay, so now I can hear you. Well, I can see you talking, but I don't hear you. I'm afraid to frickin'. You try a DM call. Yeah, let me where are you? Okay, I think I'm in a call with you. Yeah, I don't know why. What is not working here? I think. Hold on. Let me check my settings here. I'm terrified that I'm gonna blow everybody's ears out. I'm gonna turn the volume down just so I don't blow everybody's ears out. Voice and audio. Output device. There we go. That's the problem. How's that? No. Okay, hold on. There we go. I don't know why that wasn't working.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. All right.
Go ahead, call an ambulance.
You okay there?
We're live.
You okay there? All right, let's.
Yeah, I'm fine.
All right, so we're in a call here. Chat, let me know if the voice if the audio is doubling up or anything.
How is I sounding?
No, the stupid Discord is like we can hear Linky. Can you not hear me? Ryan?
Can you hear him?
Hold on, let me say Ryan says we can hear Linky, but it doesn't say anything about being able to hear me. We can hear me. Okay, there we go. I can hear both of you. Okay. So yeah, what I was talking about was that what I wanted to reiterate that when I go to the store, I'm not seeing low morale. I'm not seeing employees hunched over the counter that don't want to talk about anything. They don't want to be helpful. This article is basically talking to people behind the curtain about their morale about the job itself, which realistically a lot of people don't like the job they go into. You know what I mean? They like they like the people, you know, and I think somebody says that in the article, like the employees that they work with are fine, the customers that they're with are fine. It's the company stuff. It's the company stuff, and more importantly, and this is something that unfortunately I am very familiar with, it is the idea that you don't know how much longer your job is going to last. You know, because you can do your job perfectly, and then one day they can come in and say, all right, they're shutting the store down. You know, and that's kind of a big thing. But so I want to make sure that it's understood when people talk about this particular topic. We're not talking about going into the store and people just miserable.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah, so I wanted to have Linky. So I'm sorry, I have an anonymous guest on who may or may not choose to be identified, who may or may not work at one of these video game establishments. So hello. Feel free to introduce yourself. Feel free to use a voice mod so we don't know that you are an adult who actually likes Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Hey now. Don't you start spreading lies.
What? Those are those old commercials.
I know, but even as an adult, I still have this taste of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Even though I have not eaten breakfast in like months now because I have not waking up before that time. Right. But hello everybody, I am the Good King Linky. I do races on my stream, I co-host Johnny streams, and I'm just a little idiot that you have to deal with.
And hello Chimp Kuza. Okay, there we go. And hello to everybody who I may have not said hello to. So I wanted to have Linky on here because Linky it works at a store, and the first question I wanted to ask you was, first of all, do you share the sentiments that are expressed in this article? I sent you the article, so I wasn't sure if you had gone through it or not.
Yeah, read most of it while I was at Walmart because I was doing some shopping when you.
He was shopping for video games.
No,
because even he won't go to GameStop.
Oh no, because I don't like Walmart. I don't like shopping at Walmart. It's like I don't. GameSpot.
You bring up an interesting topic, but continue.
All right,
there's something about Walmart that I want to bring up.
Honestly, I do kind of feel the whole, hey, we have low morality because, like, hey, guess what? We got to pitch the cards. Hey, guess what? We got to pitch GPGs. Hey, guess what? Got to pitch PRP, which is basically the warranties and all that goes along with it. And Right now, we're kind of getting away from the phone trades now because we're kind of doing good on that part right now, and we're
Oh,
kind of focusing more on the cards.
all right. So
Uh,
you're not getting away from the phone trade. You just don't have to push them as hard because it's actually working.
yes, the
Okay.
reason because that we were pushing phone trades is because phone trades are actually connected to our paychecks because we get an incentive bonus for it.
Oh, okay. So you do. There is some sort of not commission, but yeah, like you said, incentive.
Yeah, and luckily for our store, where we live in the middle of bum fuck nowhere, can I curse?
Yeah. Sure.
I'll try
Yeah.
to hold myself back
Yeah.
a
Let's.
bit.
Don't worry too much about it. Just don't get super graphic.
I gotcha. But yeah, originally where I live in basically the middle of nowhere, and we're like the only GameStop within miles. We get a lot of phone trades, we get a lot of system trades, and my paychecks have been very good.
Okay.
Now for the morality, I can kind of see why people are starting to get tired of it because most people are just given the talk, like,
Yeah.
hey, Power Rewards a card, one whole year, $5 coupon, $5 coupon each and every month. Hey, it's basically $60 the whole entire year. People in the bigger areas where they have to deal with so much traffic, I feel like they're tired themselves out. They're kind of like, I don't want to pitch this anymore. Just take the game and go. I'm tired
Yeah.
of you.
Yeah. So in that situation, it sounds like the employees don't like dealing with it as much as the customers don't like dealing with it.
Oh yeah.
Which is understandable. Everybody hates. I mean, I remember the old days where you would call up, and I never worked there, but I would call up for information. And it's a great day at GameStop where you can pre-order your WWE game and don't be sure to do some trade-ins and save $20. Like that was how they answered the phone. It was a 15-20 second script to answer the phone, I imagine that as a caller, I was annoyed having to even call them. I imagine that as an employee, you didn't want to have to deal with that crap either. Like
That sounds about true. Oh, go ahead.
I think you'd be pissed off the second you do it at home. Like
Yeah.
when you're at home and your phone rings and you pick up the phone and you're like, "Hey, what's going on, man? You can pre-order." Oh, god damn it!
I've done that many
Yeah.
times. if anything, when I was transitioning from Little Caesars to GameStop, I'll be like, "Hey, thank you for calling GameStop. Where you can get your $5
Where you can get your $5 pizza
from over at Little Caesars.
Yeah,
How may I help you?"
just mix them up, mix and match.
But I do have to ask you something. Your GameStop, whenever you do call them, how do they like answer the phone? Like for instance, if like, hey, you're calling me, you just want to know what time we close because you guys can't read the Google app or anything.
Thank you for calling GameStop. My name is blah blah blah. How may I help you? That's what I get now. I don't get any more spiel.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I'll get a spiel about one thing. There's a game coming out where you can pre-order all the best games, just like some real generic thing. But I mean, I generally don't call anymore, just because it's the one that I have is close enough where I can just go. And like you said,
Gotcha.
as far as what time they close, I mean, they close at 9. That's like nationwide.
I know, but my gosh, you have those people that always calls our GameStop said, "Hey, I'm gonna check the app. Time when we close is right above where they call."
Yeah,
and I'm like,
it's
right there.
in that. But you know what? It's funny though that raises an interesting because that's a relevant issue compared to with all of this is that this article cites declining sales based on a move to digital as one of the issues. The fact that you can go online and to a virtual shop in the games for the console games or to a virtual store on the website on something like Steam and buy your games. So you might see less phone calls because people are switching over to, I can just go online and look up the time that they close or open. So you're also that's sort of relevant to, I don't need to go to call them because I can just get the information online. Look at that. I don't even need to go to the store because I can just buy this game right here.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have been seeing a lot of digital purchases at our store, as well as basically people ordering them actually on our websites.
Yeah.
But one of the major things about the digital thing is they're neither currency cards because people are afraid of having their credit card information on these systems, and they can't like do all digitally and all that sort of thing. So they still got to come to GameStop and do get the digital cards themselves. Because I still get kids literally coming in with a big old jar of quarters, said, "I need a PlayStation. I need 3 months of PlayStation Plus." And I'm like, "All right,
All right, that's fine.
go to the bank and count all the change because I ain't gonna do that."
The problem is that you don't see. There's not a lot of profit from that for.
Yeah,
GameStop.
Unfortunately, when it comes to digital content, we don't make a lot of profit as we are going to. Like, we still get a good percent of the purchases, but where there's no taxes or anything on that one, and where it's a set value of like 10, 15, 25, 50, so on and so forth, we basically only get a small profit for it. Take care, Ryan.
Yeah, I imagine that's not, and it's funny because one of the things they cite in this article is that that was something that they were warned against because they are effectively selling. They are effectively selling into a system that ensures that they're going to die. You're pushing people towards a system that is designed to not need your store anymore. I liken that to network television. Your basic network channels, ABC, whatever, running ads for Netflix. You're running an ad designed to introduce people to a system that will make your system obsolete. So it's interesting that they would choose to carry those cards at all.
I mean, profit is profit. We take what we can get.
Yeah, it's just and obviously I'm not like arguing the point with you. You're but it's just interesting that you take the profit where you can get it, but you are the while in a way to make it sound as dramatic as I possibly can, because I have a flair for that. You are the harbinger of your own death in that sense, because you yourself are telling people, hey, we're not important, and here's proof of these cards. You buy this card, you don't ever have to come in here. So it's very interesting. Not to mention the fact that you can buy those cards at the supermarket.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, who's going and getting their bread and their milk and their PlayStation points besides me? So yeah, this article is very interesting. I will try to remember to link it in my Linky, in the description of the YouTube video. But they talk about all of this stuff. They talk about the tech trades in there, that they push the cell phones because the cell phones and the tablets, I suppose, are profitable for them. Whether or not that's profitable for individual stores, I'm curious about. Is that something that is profitable for your store, or that's profitable for the company?
Yeah, it's more profitable for the company. I do know that like each sort of stores in my general area, which is the Heartland area, basically we're just required to have 5 phones to be traded in every week, and that's pretty much it. And they could be like very small phones, like, hey, I'm going to give you like $5 for this phone because you basically damaged this beyond belief, but I'm still going to take it in.
Okay.
Because I don't know if the warehouses do like take them in, fix them up, and just resell them, or just use them for parts. I don't know. All I know is I get a big paycheck at the end of the week for it.
Okay. I got a few phones laying around the house. This might be something to look into. Maybe I can get a cool $6 for them. Since I have some old, I mean they're smartphones, but they're like crappy ones.
I mean, the best thing that you could obviously do is just like, hey, just go to GameStop, take these phones. Hey, can you take these in?
I always worry about this.
Oh my god, I am trying not to be a business guy right now.
Yeah, I always worry. I'm like boomer guy. I'm the one that's so worried about my data. Like, okay, I purged, I reset my phone. I did a factory reset, so took my memory card out, but I still worry that there's some weird way that they're going to get my information on my phone.
There's no chance of
that. It's such a boomer sort of thing to think.
I'm just going to let everybody know we have a device called an ice machine that's tethered to all phone companies have like this big old networking of all like their phones and stuff. Basically, if they've been sold, if they're still being paid on, if they're basically been stolen or anything like that.
Okay.
Basically, we have to hook up your phone to that one, and we have to wipe it 100% clean before we ship it out because we don't sell it immediately over the phone. We don't sell it over immediately over the counter. We
Yeah,
have to get it shipped out so that way it gets reset multiple times at their station, cleaned up, and then resold.
yeah. Okay.
So your thoughts of your memories and data, all that, except for your porn collection because they keep a file of that.
Nah, that's okay. I've got that all
Which
up.
I
got that all up
not
in
joking.
my noodle.
I am not joking about that. But that's another tale for another day. But basically, they make sure everything's wiped off clean.
Okay, so that's a little more reassuring. Now this network, is it satellite based?
No, it's all internet based, connected to the phone companies, GameStop, and basically people of the police departments as well. Because, like I said, phones are being stolen. As long as I have a serial number, I can be like, all right, put this phone in my pocket, call the police, and goodbye.
Okay, so I was worried it was satellite based. I was worried it was some sort of Skynet.
No. Trust me, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
The robots will kill us all and take our jobs.
Yeah, right now they're just ruining our doors.
But Wing Zero says Linky reveals 10 secrets about GameStop that they don't want you to know. Number 3 will shock you.
Yeah, number 3, basically, don't ever pull a plug out with a paperclip in between that, or else you will get shocked like I did.
Oh boy. So it's they talk about the hard sell here, which you mentioned that you don't really have to do because you get the numbers, so you don't have to hard sell. One of the issues, which is interesting, like you mentioned that you don't have to hard sell, because you get the numbers, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
You're it's not that you're fighting for the numbers, you are getting the numbers, so that's interesting. One of the problems that I personally see myself is that I have a GameStop about 5 minutes from where I work.
Mm-hmm.
I also have another GameStop about 10 to 15 minutes in multiple directions. In probably a 4 to 5 mile range of where I live, I want to say there's about 6 or 7 GameStops.
Yes, and that is probably one of the biggest things that GameStop is going. Yeah, we gotta fix this because you heard about all the stores being closed down, right?
Did they say? I know that they're talking about, like, somebody mentioned in the article that they think that there might be up to 1,000 stores closing. I know I could have sworn I read somewhere that they are saying at least a couple hundred stores closing.
I got you. But I just want to let you guys know, like, hey, we do know that GameStop is actually closing these stores down. Oh,
Okay.
excuse me. They are closing these stores
He's
down.
a little choked up, everybody. Let's
I'm
give him our support. He's
I
sad.
had to quickly eat.
GameStops are closing.
But yes, we do know about all these stores that close it down, and the major point of this is because there are too many GameStop stores already.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, there's multiple GameStops 10, 15 minutes from which way you're driving.
Yeah,
which is
within about a 4 or 5 mile radius of my house, I right off the top of my head, I'm thinking of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, about 6. There's about 6 within about a 5 mile radius of my house.
I gotcha. But you live in a very populated area, correct?
No, I do not.
Okay.
I live near Philadelphia, but I live about 10, 15 minutes outside of the city. So this area is actually not it's populated, but it's not dense.
Yeah.
So we had the gallery in Center City, which was the big gallery with all the stores and everything. They actually just rebuilt it. They used to have 2 of them in there. In the same location were 2 GameStops.
Yep.
So they got rid of one of those. They don't have that anymore. But they got rid of the one of them a while ago.
Yeah. But
now I have a question, because you mentioned Walmart, and there was something I find very interesting about this. Does your store have a Walmart near you?
yes, we do.
Does your Walmart sell video games for roughly 10% cheaper? 10 to 15% cheaper?
It's basically the same price, but I feel like they are kind of overcharging for some of the games at my Walmart. I don't know if this is the same for your Walmart.
New games. I'm thinking about new games.
Yeah, same deal with that one. Like Walmart, me will be able to price check and everything, but I feel like the way that they're just doing business is like, oh, you want this game? All right, go bye. I'm like,
See, I'm fascinated by this because two of the GameStops near me have Walmarts literally within walking distance.
mhm.
All of my Walmarts sell everything. Yeah, usually $10 cheaper. All of my $60 games are $50. All of my $50 games are like $41. They're all like that across the board, and it's both Walmarts.
Yep.
This is something that I noticed a while ago, and there were people reporting on it that GameStops were selling games for cheaper, and it occurred to me that the Walmarts are often near GameStops, and I wonder if that's something that is just coincidence, or if that's by design. Because not everybody, a lot of people are saying that not all of the Walmarts are doing that. I'm interested if the Walmarts that are doing it are near GameStops because they are siphoning business.
They probably are most of the time because with big corporations like Walmart, they could basically put out stuff early, sell it, and then take the hit, which is a $10,000 fine for selling stuff like days early, releasing the game early, because it's Walmart. They can pay for that. And for GameStops, unfortunately, where we can't price match, we can't like, hey, can we get like a little bit discount with some of these games? Which some companies will let us do because we usually have like a lot more sales than GameStop or Walmart does because they may have the $50 games like lined up for all the times, but for
Yeah.
GameStop, I know that we basically try putting some of our games on sale for a cheaper price. It's just marketing game, basically being friendly with business, and that's how it usually goes.
Yeah, there's a few people in the chat. Walmart, in my store, overpriced stuff that's been out for 5 years. Yeah, Walmart, they're notorious for that. And Walmart doesn't drop their prices based on the age. So a $60 game is going to be, or $50 game is going to be $50 for longer than it should be. But there's a couple people. I usually see a pattern with Walmart to McDonald's. My Walmart does it, and there's a GameStop in the exact same plaza. It's interesting. I'm curious if that's something that is a pattern that's been noticed. I just found it very fascinating, and it's across the board for games, but not peripherals. Like Ring Fit, if you go by Ring Fit Adventure, I think it's still what, 70 or 80 bucks.
Yeah, I believe it's about 70-80.
But when the Genesis Mini came out, that was $10 cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting, and I'm wondering if that's something that they started doing because they didn't do it forever. It's probably been going on for about 6 months to a year, maybe actually more like 6 to 8 months. But I don't know. I found that to be a weird sort of connection, and I wasn't sure if that's something anybody had noticed or not. All right. So what I want to do, I know you're not going to be able to stay here for super long. So what I want to do, one of the other reasons I wanted to have you here, and the reason we have named this topic what we have named it, is because I want to know if there's anything that can be done to salvage something, whether you fix the company completely, or if not, what you pull out of it.
I gotcha.
What do you think do you think this is salvageable? Do you think that there is something here that either on the whole or in parts, do you think that there is something worth salvaging here?
In parts, yes. I do know that I've been kind of reading up on some like other stories because GameStop is actually turning a lot of stores from version 1.0s to 2.0s. This is actually the same conversations we had the last time I was on here.
When we talked a little bit about this when the pictures of the redesigns were coming up. And,
yes, and
which is a whole nother set of problems. But go ahead.
Yeah. But I believe like the whole set of problems with the games with the back then is actually coming to the light, and they're acknowledging it, which is one of the biggest things that companies need to do. Is like, hey, we got a problem, we're going to try to fix it. And you said that I remember what you said those many months ago is like saying, hey, whenever I just want to go to GameStop, I just want to go there, play games, and enjoy my time with them. Yeah. And GameStop has been kind of like saying, you know what, maybe this guy might be right.
You want to turn it into a destination.
Yes, turning into a destination. which if it's a destination, it's somewhere people can go, they can play your games and all that sort of thing. And I'm happy to say they're actually taking this into effect. By right now, it's a small beta store up in Vancouver, or not Vancouver, up north. I'm just gonna say up north now.
North of here, south of the North Pole, somewhere in that
Ohio.
range.
Not Ohio. But basically, they are implementing game stations. There's a retro store that you can go to. They got these big, massive televisions. You can play old retro games and all that. Those are for the retro store. For the current, for the modern ones, like my store, they have like computer set up. That way you can play any sort of game. And basically, there are ways to like say, hey, leave your kid here, enjoy your games, and basically, hey, $5 to play a game for a couple hours.
Okay, so that's one thing that I wanted to talk about with that is that leave your kid here. The employees are not babysitters, so that sucks. That the children are literally being dumped off in order to sit there and play video games.
But the thing is, they actually thought of this too.
Oh boy.
Basically,
is there some sort of ejector seat? Oh my god!
Yes.
Tell me it zaps you after like 20
all right,
minutes.
kid, get out of my store. Your parents gone.
I ain't playing
no.
more Mario. Ow! And then they just leave.
I think there might be a problem with the ejector. It just electrocuted him. But no.
Oh, that's by design. Okay, got it.
Lick. All right. But probably one of the biggest things that are going on right now is only kids from teenagers and up can stay. Anybody else less, the parent has to stay in the store.
Okay, so they have to stay with them.
Yes. The reason because of that, ESRB rating.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. You get into a situation where these kids are around things that technically they're not supposed to be able to play.
Yeah. And Epic Store, like you may know that Fortnite is just basically memes and all the little thing. They are willing to help us out by just basically saying every computer will have Fortnite. Which I'm like, hey, developers helping us out. It's always a good thing.
Which this article actually mentions that Fortnite is sort of damaging the industry right now because that's all they want to play, and that's not, Fortnite is not profitable for stores. So that's an interesting twist because I mean Fortnite is a beast like we have never seen before. The problem is it's a free beast.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't, when Pokemon was massive, that was a massive influx of customers for businesses. This is not. Fortnite is not any sort of profitable for anybody else except Epic. So I thought that was an interesting twist. My other issue is how profitable can these game stations be? I mean, you're charging $5 to play X amount of time, but you only have X amount of space. So I'm curious to see how profitable something like this can be.
That is a very good question, but unfortunately, I don't have the answers to that because, like I said, these are being test stores right now.
Yeah.
And like I said, there might be an incentive to kind of go into GameStop and play for like an hour or two, depending on how much you pay and all of that. That they might be profitable and all that sort of thing. But for right now, where it's in the test area, it's kind of hard for me to say about it because I'm just kind of going by articles and by GSO, which is our like GameStop like worldwide thing.
And let me ask you, because I actually had this idea as a business where it's a sort of game station, which I'm sure I'm not the first person to ever have the idea. But my idea also included rows of vending machines, because that's where you're going to see if you there is no fun destination that does not include
snacks.
Food.
Yeah.
There is always an element of food because when you're there for a while, you get hungry, you want to eat something. If you have to leave, that is an opportunity for your customer base to walk away. So every business is going to have some sort of food element to it. These stores where they built these test setups, do they have like snack machines? I mean, I'm sure they don't have snack counters. Once you put in a fresh food thing, you need food licenses. It becomes a whole big disaster. Vending machines bypass all of that stuff. So I'm interested to know, do they have like food vending machines at these places?
Honestly, I cannot tell you because I know that we actually opted out to not to have like a vending machine at our store because we didn't have a plug-in for it. like no joke. We needed all of our plugins to help light up the stores because we may be the biggest store in all like the Heartland area. But we didn't have enough electrical outlets, so that was fun to deal with.
that's kind of an issue. I mean, you could have
it was a
called a
Vegas.
guy, but
yeah. But I do know that certain GameStops do have vending machines.
Okay.
I do know that they are sponsored not by Red Bull, but another drink.
Gamer Fuel.
Yep. No.
Oh my god! Hey, you say it like it's crazy.
No, that's not it.
I mean,
at the same time,
it's got gamer in the title. It's made for us.
I know, but I'm trying to remember. Parry, I believe.
Dragon Knight, you're absolutely right. Also, having people around longer may require a restroom. That would also be an issue. You if you're in a mall, you get around that. Again, you reach the same problem of people leaving the store. But you get around that by being in a mall where they have public bathrooms. So you can get around that. But again, like I said, it does create the issue of they're going to leave. And you don't want them to leave. You want to keep, it's the casino mentality where when you go to a casino, a lot of people have heard it and they think it's it's funny or like a joke. And then you actually go to a casino and you realize there are no windows and there are no clocks. And the point is that you're not supposed to realize that you're there for that long. And it's true. It really, I don't know how scientific it is, but I've been to a casino a few different times, and yeah, there's no windows, everything is sealed, and there's no clocks.
You just kind of blew my mind there because I never realized that.
Yeah, and that's the idea. The idea there's also rumors that, and I used to say this about supermarkets, and I've heard them say this about casinos. There was rumors that they pumped oxygen into the room. They over oxygenate the air so that your vitality's higher and you're less likely to get sleepy. I've heard that before. That seems very conspiracy theory like. But when you look at the volume of money that goes into and out of casinos, it doesn't seem that crazy.
Yep.
So one way to fix GameStop would be to pump oxygen in the room and refuse to let people leave.
Oh God, no!
All right, so here we go. We're doing it. See, we're holding true to the topic. We're saving GameStop here. Now,
sir, I'm tired. I can't feel my eyes. Can I go home now?
What if you're tired? Just turn up the oxygen.
I'm not a tree.
So GameStop at this point, basically what a lot of people think and what you've said is that in its current state, it is unsalvageable. There are things that you can pull out of GameStop and turn it into something else.
Yep.
So one of the ideas, like we've been talking about, is to turn them into these destination spots where you go and you hang out. You play a bunch of games. If they're smart, you get some snacks. If you're even smarter, you set up games that they can buy there.
Yep.
So kids come in and they say, "Oh my God, it's Dragon Ball! I love Goku!" And they play Dragon Ball Fighter Z, and they love it so much they want to buy it, and they walk over to the counter and they buy it. That's probably one of the most optimal ways you can turn that into a profitable business. The problem here is, and this is an idea that I was thinking about before. You can't do that everywhere.
Nope.
Some of these stores are extremely small. Physically, so that's not going to work at all of these places. What you could possibly do, I had mentioned before about franchising, about selling the GameStop name and allowing people to open up their own individual stores under the GameStop banner, but they run the store pretty much their own way. Do you see enough interest in a smaller store that focuses on newer stuff as opposed to maybe a smaller store that focuses on retro stuff?
I again, it can be a double-edged sword about that. Like, it might be great for certain places that, like, hey, this whole entire town does not sell those type of video games. But at the same time, once you get to those customers and they buy out some of those games, you're only going to
Yeah.
get those type of customers. You're not going to get the general audience of everybody, which is basically what GameStop is trying to do. They're not trying to appeal to the gamer. They stand by them, but they also got to reach out to the regular
Yeah.
public who doesn't play video games and kind of teach them and let them know about what these games are. That's basically what GameStop is about. We're basically the opening doors to non-gamers. Let them play, let them try out games, and help them out.
All right. Well, the reason I was thinking about that was because I was thinking about these stores where they're super close together. Like I mentioned, the old gallery in Philadelphia used to have 2 GameStops in there. Do you think that there would be any interest in turning one of them into a retro-focused store? You know, because I know GameStop was selling retro games on their website, and a lot of people prefer to have a storefront where they can go in, they can look at the games themselves. Again, a few setups, maybe they can try out some of the games. And then you could have one store that is GameStop Retro, and that's all their retro stuff. It's a storefront for their retro game side. And then in the same mall, you've got GameStop Modern.
Yep. If anything, that is actually one of the biggest things that GameStop is trying to actively do, because you heard about some stores are closing down because there's too many GameStops in one populated area. But they've been kind of refocusing some of the other stores, basically said, hey, this is going to be a retro store, this is going to be 1.0, and this is going to be 2.0.
Yeah.
2.0 being the standard, the GameStop that's basically on testing right now, which our store was basically able to be tested, but we were a couple points off from basically doing so because it was a bad day because we lost our GA there because he was caught stealing Pokemon cards, and we were like,
Pokemon cards, like, come on, man.
Oh my
better.
Gosh. I'm about to say they're great.
Steal the vacuum cleaner, for God's sakes.
I'm about to say that we actually did have a recent event. I ain't going to name any names, obviously, where we did have some customers that came in, and he stowed about $50 worth of the Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Good Lord, man. What did he steal? Like 1 Exodia and 2 Cyber Dragons? Come on.
Possibly. But the thing is, he took the cards that just went on clearance. So it's just like, all right, take care of those.
Yeah, I wonder if any of this stuff, and that's the thing. At this point, I think most people would agree you're not going to salvage the GameStop company. At this point, probably the most viable thing you can take from all of this, you can save, is the name. So I'd be interested to see if they roll with a few different ideas and allow the name to survive, which is why I like the idea of franchising. I like the idea of selling the GameStop name out to whoever wants to buy one and open their own GameStop, quote unquote. Yeah. But they get to focus on whether or not they get to focus on arcades and game stations. And if they choose to focus on game stations, GameStop will help them with kiosks and some light inventory. If they choose to focus on modern games, they'll stay modern. If they choose to focus on retro games, GameStop will advertise them as one of their retro game faces. Yep. You know, I'd be more interested to see something like that happen, because I talked before, and whether or not people love or hate GameStop, the reality is we need a popular generic face for gaming. There needs to be something that, you know, when grandma's looking for a game for her grandson and she's at the mall getting her knitting supplies or whatever older people do nowadays.
We just need to bring Buck back.
What's that?
I said we just need to bring Buck back. Buck is the GameStop rabbit that we still use, but we don't use publicly, and I miss him so. Because if you're thinking about a face, Buck the Rabbit, he is probably the face of GameStop, which now it's GP, or GE or GS now, but
Well,
Nice
I
buck.
I think the problem with that is with the decline in sales of the company, the joke "the buck stops here" is going to work really fast.
Yeah.
And you know, if you're going to name your character Buck, it should either be like an elk or like a bumblebee, because you're gonna cash.
But he
I
gives
guess
you bang for your buck though.
yeah. Well, I guess you're gonna cash in on the Buck Bumble. You want to cash in on the Buck Bumble craze. There you go. That's the biggest selling game ever. Greatest video game of all time.
Which I have yet to play.
Yeah, I never played it either. Well, I've played it, but not like all the way through. Yeah. So I'm interested to see what if anything is salvaged from GameStop, but I do think that we need some large scale face for video games. You know, there needs to be a large presence of video games, because video games can't exist just in the back corner of the electronics department of Walmart and Target.
Yeah,
They'll languish there.
Yeah, and like I said, the reason why I actually don't like my GameStop or my Walmart.
The reason I don't like my GameStop. Oh boy, just let's. Maybe you should have hid your identity. Just throw it all out there.
No, not good. Trust me, they know. They know. But one thing I don't like about Walmart is like electronic area. It's just a person who doesn't play games, a person who's just there to earn money, and just a person who's just there to sell stuff. Like,
yeah,
I like my job at GameStop, and I'm always enthusiastic. I'm always talking with people, talking about their games, talking about the games they play. But you just go to Walmart and be like, all right, let me get this side of glass.
Yeah,
there you go.
Oh, was that Sonic? Oh man, I used to play this. That's the conversation that I had when I bought my Genesis Mini.
Sir, this is Wendy's. I need to move to the front.
Yeah. Yeah, when I bought my Genesis Mini, I bought it at Walmart, and that was the conversation I had. Was, oh man, this got Sonic on it. Oh man, I play Sonic all the time. Like, okay, can I just have my Genesis Mini and my Link's Awakening game, please?
Wait, Link's Awakening?
I think Link's Awakening was at the same time. I remember. Yeah, it was at the same time.
Okay.
So I bought them at the same time.
I thought that was just like a story from like way back in the day.
Oh,
right,
no.
Sega Genesis and Link's Awakening.
Yeah, no. It was that, and then my Link amiibo from Link's Awakening, which is adorable. That is my second child there. With Sage being my first child. Yeah, it's. I hope they survive. I hope they stick around. And for anybody that goes to, and that you make a good point as far as the GameStop employees, because there was a long time where I was pretty convinced that GameStop employees hated video games.
I mean, I do.
Yeah, like I was pretty, because you would go in and they wouldn't talk about video games. They would talk about what cell phone do you have, and check out these pre-orders for games, and that's all they would talk about. And then I would try and engage in a conversation with them, and they just didn't seem interested. And I don't know, maybe I smelled. I mean, that's entirely possible. But there was a long time where I didn't like going to GameStop, specifically because I got the impression that they were not gamers. And I don't mean to be prejudiced, like, oh, you're not a gamer, oh, you're a loser then. But when I go to buy a video game, yes, I would like to buy it from somebody who knows video games. So it was always weird to me that they didn't. But now that the ones that are near me now, anyway, I engage with them, and they seem to actually like video games. And I wonder how much of that stifling of their interest in video games was corporate. You know, they were told not to engage in long conversations. I did know somebody years ago, back when like GameStop bought FuncoLand. I knew a couple people that worked at GameStop, and they were told, like, you're not supposed to hold conversations like that. If you hold a conversation with a customer, you were supposed to be trying to sell them something.
Yeah,
and that.
Well, granted, if there is a entire room full of customers, you might want to be like, "Hey, I'll be right back. I gotta go talk to the other guys real quick." Because usually, whenever I'm talking with customers, if it's just you meeting the customers, we're gonna be talking for days. Like all like the stuff I'm gonna do, I'm like, yeah, tomorrow people can do that. I'm just gonna talk to this guy because I'm trying to sell him something. But at the same time, if there's like the whole crowd of people there, there's information I gotta let them know about, because like my joy of like working at GameStop is I like to tell people, hey, I want to help you. I want to save you money. We got all these deals going on. Even if it's like, hey, welcome to GameStop. I got this little payment for you. Got all the deals right there. If you need questions, just ask me. All right, what's up, man?
Yeah. Meanwhile, Linky's like, oh, I want to help you find all the best deals, and then he's holding up a sign that actually says "Help me." Like he's got it positioned so that the camera doesn't see what he's saying. Like, hey, you want to check out this game? And it says Call of Duty, but he scratched off Duty and wrote help.
Yeah, no, Greg, you got to play it smart. Those little pamphlets I'm showing out, they got photos on the inside of it that says "Help me."
What's this pamphlet say? Why is it made out of cut up letters?
Oh, hang on, that one. Thank you.
It's half help note, half ransom note.
Oh shit, that wasn't meant for you.
Oh wait, I gave you the wrong one. All right, so I know that you have to take off. You were closing in on 6 o'clock. I know that you've got a charity race that you're doing, or just the race?
We are just doing a race. I'm about to say there. Go ahead, finish your thing, and I'll do my thing.
No. I was gonna say, go ahead and plug your thing. If you're watching this on YouTube, unfortunately, the race is already over. So be sure if this going up on YouTube.
Yes, it is.
Okay, then be sure to plug both of those.
All right. So for those who are actually in the Twitch right now, at 6 o'clock and maybe a little bit later, because it does look like some of our races are going to be a little bit late right now. So I may start by like 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, which fortunately means I gotta go get up early tomorrow. But I'll worry about that later. Basically, we're actually doing our race that we do every month over my channel. I know that me, Johnny, Trev, String, Apple, and Experiment, we all usually get together and just race the game. And this month's race is a game that we've never played. We have never practiced.
Oh boy.
It's a game called Jane's Pond 2.
Oh yeah.
For the Amiga.
Oh yeah, I never played part 2. I'm familiar. I have seen the first game, which I think I saw on Super Nintendo. I believe there's a James Pond on Super Nintendo.
Yes, there is. But we are playing the other version, so
okay. Oh,
this is going to be a new experience for all of us. But another thing, I also do like streams on myself too. I don't have a set date for mine yet because my schedule changes all the time at GameStop. I just stream whatever I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What do you stream? What do you normally? Is modern, retro?
I
art,
usually go with everything.
Nude body painting. What do you stream?
100% race, quilting, ask me anything, and nude speedruns.
All right, I like it.
Yeah. No, I just do mainly everything. But with all the races and all the streams that I'm doing, they get uploaded to YouTube immediately because I am not going to make that same mistake again. But right now, I'm actually going to go. Next week, I'm actually going to finish up Paper Mario 64, and then I'm actually going to move on to Mega Man Zero because this is a game I've been looking forward to, and I can't wait to play it.
All right, fantastic. All right, thank you very much, Linky, for stopping in. Always good to have a very insider insight into these GameStop issues. Hopefully we'll talk to you again about how the company has turned around and you love your job more than ever. You don't have to laugh at that. That was hurtful. I don't want to hurt your feelings there. Yeah, you gotta do the ugly kid cry where there's no noise for like the first 5 seconds. And you spend the first 5 seconds trying not to laugh at them.
No, it just goes from like a
yeah. There's that. It's a clip of Christian Bale. Is it Christian Bale from the movie Interstellar? Where he's seeing something and he's laughing and he's sort of starts crying.
I want to say you're right because it's been a long time since I saw that movie.
Yeah, I know. I keep thinking about it, and then I keep when I try and picture scenes of the movie in my head, I keep thinking of Gravity with Sandra Bullock.
I gotcha.
I don't know. Space. It's all the same.
I gotcha. I can probably stick around for like a few more minutes if you want me to, but you know what? Okay. I'm actually gonna go.
Yeah. So because I want to switch over to this next topic, and I'm gonna complain a little bit.
Oh, complain about me? Yeah, okay.
No,
as soon as I leave.
Feel free to listen to me. Feel free to listen to me complain about the Xbox Series One X.
Oh, good luck with that one.
All right, have a good one.
Good luck with the sex. Bye.
Yay. Okay. I remember that gift of Kid Christian Bale crying. 01 is janky. And I apologize to the chat. I always pay attention to the chat. But it's always difficult to do that when I have a guest. So yeah, the GameStop. I want to see the name survive. I honestly do. They're definitely not going to survive in the capacity that they are currently at. But I would like to see them turn the name into something, because they are. That's a legacy name. It really is. So hopefully they're doing all right. So this next topic I don't have an image for, so we're just gonna shut the images off. But I'm gonna play the noise.